Recording in progress.
So now that our lecture is officially being recorded, let's start. Okay, I have some good news for all of you. The listening test is actually the easiest test among the four, along with the speaking test. I know most of you are intimidated with the interview. Isipin mo pa lang yung word na interview, most probably nararattle ka na, right? It's quite intimidating because you will be talking to a foreigner face to face. All right? But don't worry. That's why we have one-on-one coaching once a week. And if ako yung lecturer, I accommodate a few slots after the lecture. So probably 3 to 5 slots, mga ganon, depending on my schedule. All right? So definitely today, sa mga hindi nakaabot, medyo madami din yung hindi nakapag one-on-one kahapon na nakapagpalista. So that was around 6 individuals. I'm so sorry. I really take my time when I'm doing the one-on-one coaching because I want the details and my feedback to be very meticulous because I want you to realize your weak areas. And of course, I'm gonna also tell you your strengths, but yung weak areas, kailangan natin i-identify in order for you to be able to change it, improve it, and of course, hindi nyo na siya dadalhin sa actual na interview. All right, why is the listening test the easiest test among the four? Because all you have to do is listen. Dinidictate na yung answer. The only thing that you have to do is be laser focused on the audio file. That's why physical condition is actually really important. Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. Alright? Pray muna kasi talagang kailangan mo ipag-pray na hindi matatapat sa'yo yung Aussie accent. It is known as the most difficult accent to understand among British, minsan kasi may Filipino accent din daw na audio file. So probably yon medyo kaya pa natin. And then the American accent is the easiest. Pero kung matatapat sa'yo yung Aussie accent, it's a little bit of a struggle. Lalo na kung hindi ka mahilig manood ng movies that are may mga movies. I actually don't watch Aussie accent movies, but meron namang mga British accent movies such as Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. What else? Bridgerton. Naririnig ko yung mga past lectures ni Sir Kevin, hindi niya talaga minimension yung Bridgerton. Probably he's not watching that one. So anyways, alam niyo ba yun, yung Bridgerton? It's a Netflix series. Have you watched it? So, assignment ko sa inyo yun. Okay, mamili kayo. Harry Potter series, The Lord of the Rings, or Bridgerton. Or if you do have other sources that you could access the British accent from, then that's good. Nowadays, you're so lucky, you're so blessed because there are so many online sources on the internet, right? You have YouTube, there are so many streaming platforms. So definitely you don't have excuses. All right. So the listening test is the easiest. Why? All you have to do is listen and write down if it's a pen and paper based test and code if it's a computer version or computer based test. All right? Yeah, and code mo lang naman kung ano yung dinedictate. But the thing is, you have to be analytical and critical kasi hindi naman lahat ng sasabihin niya, yun na yung sagot. It's actually very confusing. You'll get to experience it in the mock test. But the rest of you, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yung tipong, may sasabihin siyang date, but then bigla niyang babawiin, oh no, that's not the chu-chu-chu-chu. And then, eto yung actual answer. So you have to be very keen. Your ears have to be very keen. Your mind should be focused, and definitely you have to think critically. Kasi if not, you're definitely not gonna pass your listening test. At medyo nakakahiya kasi ngayon yung easiest test among. But there was a student, si Blake, recently lang nag-take siya ng exam. I think that was a week ago. He got a 9 in the listening test. Because, again, the listening test is the easiest. And you can possibly get a perfect score. The items is... Teka lang, switch ko na pala ng... See, multitasking is not that easy. All right, hang on. Ah, okay. Bakit ba ayaw niyang lumabas? Ayan pala, right. Okay, so let's take a look at the technical side of the listening test or exam. So the listening exam is composed of 4 sections. Ito yung tawag sa each section before. It was addressed as section 1, section 2, section 3, and section 4. However, on your mock tests, hindi na ganon. Back in 2020, they changed it to parts. Okay, so now it's named part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. Okay, 4 different audio files. 4 sections, 40 items, meaning 10 items per section. All right, and you have 40 minutes to listen, 30 minutes for listening to recording while answering. So, by the way, this is for pen and paper based examinees. I'm sorry. So, yung mga pen and paper kasi, medyo iba yung sa kanila. Why? Because they have the test paper, they have the scratch paper. Kasi hindi sila pwedeng magkamali sa test paper. So, dun muna nila sinusulat sa test paper, sa scratch paper. And then, at the end of the audio, saka pa lang nila ita-transfer lahat ng sagot nila from the scratch to the test paper, which is such a big hassle. Sino ba dito yung magpa-pen and paper-based exam? Wala naman. Skip na natin to. So, for those who are gonna take the computer-based test, it's gonna be totally easy for you, especially if you're computer literate. Hopefully everyone is computer literate, but I did encounter some students who are a little bit in the middle age. So, they kind of rant about that, na hindi sila masyadong marunong gumamit ng keyboard. Well, that's normal because of the generation issues. So, ayun na nga. Pero I'm assuming that all of you here, you know how to use a computer, right? You know how to use the keyboard. So, drag, select, and code, yun yung gagawin nyo. It's easy. Compared to pen and paper na susulat mo pa sa scratch and then ito transfer mo pa at the end of the audio, which can be very crucial because kapag transfer nila, may tendency na they make a mistake upon transferring. So it's not advised to take the pen and paper based exam. But yes, that option is still open for those who are not computer literate and for those who are more confident in using pen and paper. All right? So we don't offer that in Cabanatuan City, but it's offered in another testing center in Pampanga. Okay? So sobrang hassle, di ba? Kasi pupunta ka pa sa Pampanga. So you have to remember that the recording can only be played once. You can't pause it. You can't rewind or replay it. That's why you need total focus. Before you take your exam, you have to make sure that hindi ka gutom, you're not short-tempered, hindi ka nakipag-away, para hindi ka tense or probably may iniisip. Kasi the slightest inconsistency with your emotions can actually drag your energy and your focus. That's based on my experience. Kasi hindi ako kumain ng breakfast. When I took the mock test lang naman yun. When I took the IELTS exam, I made sure that I ate breakfast and hindi ko muna inaway yung asawa ko. Kasi 24 hours before the exam is the most crucial time. Hindi ka na dapat nangangarag noon. Hindi ka na dapat nag-aaral or nagpapa-coaching. Just peace of mind lang. And relaxation. Because your physical condition can highly affect your performance on that day. Alright? Especially, pinakaunang exam is the listening, which you will need a lot of your focus. Kasi malingat ka lang ng konti, may hindi ka lang napakinggan na word, it's gonna screw the whole thing. Experience nyo na yun, nag-mock test kayo, tapos nalingat kayo kasi tinawag kayo ng anak nyo or ng tatay, nanay nyo. Then, babalikan mo na yung audio, wala na. Di mo na masundan. Right? So, that's why you have to make sure once you click the start button sa mga mock test, kasi syempre pag actual exam na, hindi na ikaw yung magde-decide kung kailan magsa-start yun. Ang magde-decide kung kailan magsa-start yung exam ay si invigilator. Sabay-sabay yan. Halimbawa, sabay-sabay kayong mag-e-exam, hindi ka makaka-proceed sa next exam kung hindi pa tapos yung iba. So, you have, even whether you finish late or whether you finish earlier than the others, sabay-sabay lilipat ng subtest. Okay? So, that's how it goes. You have to listen to the invigilator. Mababait naman yung mga invigilator. Medyo lang nakakatakot kasi poker face sila. And you're not really allowed to talk to anyone there. And it's being recorded live. All examinations are being recorded live sa British Council mismo because they have to make sure that there's no leakage. There's no pandaraya or anything. Okay? Kaya may mga students na nakikiusap sa akin, Ma'am, may iba pa bang paraan? Kasi I feel like I can't really pass the IELTS. Wala na pong ibang paraan talaga. It's the top proficiency exam in the world. IELTS. And you cannot cheat it, you cannot pay kung magkano man yung gusto mong i-offer, we can't accept it because there's no such thing. Okay? You really have to undergo the process, you really have to undergo the review, and there's no shortcuts. The best way for you to train for your listening subtest is by doing it repeatedly. Okay? And eventually, sa kakapaulit-ulit, you actually get familiarized with it, and at the same time, nakukuha mo yung technique. Right? Unlike yung ibang mga test takers na hindi nag-review, hindi nag-mock test, sabak agad sa IELTS, believe me, even ako, na instructor ako, nung first time na nag-mock test ako, I was bewildered. Seriously. Na-shock ako sa kung gaano kahirap ang IELTS because it's not just a simple English exam. If you don't review and practice, if you don't train yourself, you won't get the band score that you need. Okay? And the rules are very strict. So, these are general rules that you have to remember. Listen intently, or what we call laser focus. Your intention should be to fish for information. Once you open your website, you will get the list of questions. At may instructions sa audio, sasabihin niya, you have a minute to, not a minute, but you have time to look at questions 1 to 6. So, you have to be quick. Tingnan mo yung mga keywords. Check the keywords. Para pag nag-play na si audio file, somehow, parang nakita ko tong word na to doon. Right? So it's very important for you to read the questionnaire before the audio plays. And yes, they're giving you that chance, that opportunity. So grab it, okay? Follow the example. The good thing about the exam is it presents an example first before it officially starts. Pero, medyo nakakalito. Lalo na kung hindi mo sinusundan yung sinasabi niya. Kasi, isa sa mga feedback ng mga test takers, nag-start na pala yung audio. Pero akala ko, instruction pa lang. That's why it's not enough for you to take the mock test once only. You have to repeatedly do the mock test so that gets mo yung atake niya, right? Gets mo yung technique. Okay, I will show you the sample video later. Don't fall asleep. So it's very important for you to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep before your exam day. So sa mga malalayo yung bahay, huwag nyo nang i-attempt na bumiyahe from your house to here kung 4 na oras yung biyahe ng bus or by car, whatever. What you should do is book a hotel. Ma'am naman, extra gastos naman yun. Okay, so, sige. Ano ba yung mga iba pang in na di? Hindi kasi ako taga-Cabanatuan, so I don't know the different inns here. But probably you can ask Sir Ruel, kasi most of our students have asked him kung saan pwedeng magstay kung hindi kayo taga dito sa Cabanatuan. But if you're here from Cabanatuan, then that's great. Or kung meron kayong pwedeng stayan, like a friend or kamag-anak. Sa mga magte-take naman sa Pampanga, ganun din. If you're from Cabanatuan, you're gonna take your exam in Pampanga, definitely you have to book an accommodation. Kasi kailangan familiar ka na sa route ng exam venue. You can't afford to be late. And you can't afford to lack sleep. Because lacking sleep is also equivalent to losing focus. Okay? Eh, 3 oras yung bubunuin mo na yon. Tapos may speaking pa na sobrang nakakangarag, right? So, kung napapansin ninyo, yung pinakamadali, listening, next is the read. Hindi naman siya madali, but next is the reading, at pinakamahirap is the writing test. Kaya siya nilagay sa dulo para hindi ma-exhaust yung energy nyo masyado. Okay? So, don't fall asleep. Siguro, if you're not confident about your awakeness that day, you can probably take an energy drink. Ano ba yung pampagising? Coffee? Coffee? Or what do I do? Well, yeah, coffee. That's it. Especially if it's an American coffee or black lang siya. Right? No milk. That's strong. Pero if you have palpitation problems, please, I guess you have to consult your doctor first. Yeah, kung ano yung pwede nyong i-take. But then, kasi baka naman mamaya in the middle of the exam, mag-palpitate ka and all. So, depende sa condition ninyo yon, sa medical health nyo, kung pwede kayong mag-take ng energy drink or caffeinated drinks. Alright, I know it's caffeine. Probably you've heard the word caffeine a few times, but it's not actually pronounced as caffeine. It's caffeine. Alright? So, one time, order ako sa coffee shop. And I said, do you have any decaffeinated drinks? Sabi niya, what do you mean? Hindi niya nag-gets. Yung drinks na walang caffeine. That's what I said. Pero hindi niya nag-gets kasi nag-assume siya na caffeine, yung tamang pronunciation. Share ko lang. Para alam niyo. Alright, so next. Alam ko na what's wrong with my display. Hindi pala siya naka-dual display eh. Wait. Hindi siya naka-duplicate. Oh, there. Okay. Natawa naman ako sa suggestion ni Irish. Yeah, actually, yun yung pinakamalapit. And affordable, I guess. Yeah. All right. Okay, this is applicable. What are you doing here? Nag-monitor ng class. I'm not gonna leave it. I'm not gonna wala. Everyone, meet Sir Kevin, the OG. Eh, dito ko pa nandyan. Ayaw ko, binabash. What break? Okay, break time daw, guys. Magpa-check na kayo ng writing. Ito na lang yung opportunity nyo next week. Wala na. So, for those who are in Zoom, kindly wait at merong nagpa-break. What? No, I've been using this since last year. Wala yatang magpapacheck Kevin eh. Ano meron si ano? Si Sheena. So, sa mga nasa Zoom na gustong magpa-check ng writing, kung ako sa inyo, lipad na kayo dito. Lipad talaga. Irish, o umuwi-uwi ka pa ng Balara, chance mo na sanang magpa-check. Yung kaka-start pa lang ng lecture, nagpa-break. I don't like being heard. All right. So just a few notes, even though I know that most of you are not going to take the pen and paper based exam, but for those who are probably going to change their mind, so you have to take note that the questionnaire is pink. Kevin, ang redundant naman ng color pink dito sa... So actually, when somebody asks you about the color, you don't need to say, my favorite color is pink. You can just say, my favorite, probably if the question is, what's your favorite color? It's pink. You don't need to say, it's color pink. Because pink itself is a color. So if you say color pink, you're being redundant already. Okay? Redundancy is different from repetition, okay? Redundancy means you're talking about the same thing, same word, same meaning, and you're using it in one specific sentence. All right? Repetition is paulit-ulit na words, okay? So, for you to know, kahit di kayo magpe-pen and paper-based exam, the questionnaire is pink and the answer sheet is orange. All right? I'll show you a sample. The answer items for 1 to 20 is on the left side. 21 to 40 is on the right side. The reason why I'm telling you this is because the listening and reading answer sheets are very identical. All right? So, let's take a look at the sample. There. As you can see, we have the logo of British Council, IDP, and University of Cambridge. So these are the things that you should not touch, okay? This area over here, no need to fill it out yourself because the testing invigilator will do that for you. So listen to the testing invigilator. Ang kailangan nyo lang sagutan is, of course, the test date, the month, year, your full name in capital letters. So you have to make sure you follow instructions, okay? Following instructions is crucial. So you have to make sure that you're not missing out on that. And then we have 1 to 20 on the left side of your test paper and 21 to 40 on the right side. Now, contrary to the computer-based test, hindi na siya ganito. Each part, 10 items. Each part, one audio file. Cannot be repeated, cannot be paused. Okay? Now, for those who have not experienced the mock test yet, let's watch this video. It's not playing. Okay. I'll just switch it to the web. Hang on, I'll share my screen again, guys. Just give me a second.
Team we're transitioning to flat, but tasks are still gonna be on both of them. Did nobody see my poppycock post?
Yay. Is it clear?
For the listening test, you can change the volume by using the volume bar in the top right at any time during the test. For each part of the listening test, you will hear the recording once only. Some parts of the test have more than one type of question. Each type of question has its own instructions. In the listening test, listen carefully for the part number and question numbers to make sure you are looking at the right screen. For some questions, you need to write your answer in the gap. For some questions, you need to choose which diagram label, A, B, C, etc., is correct for which item listed in the table. For each question, click on the correct space in the table. For some questions, you need to click on an answer and move it into the gap. If you want to change an answer, move another answer into the gap. If you want to leave the question unanswered, move the question back. And for some questions, you need to move an answer into a gap on a diagram. At the end of the listening test, you'll have 2 minutes to check all of your answers. The tests will automatically stop when the time finishes.
Okay. So let's go back to that. Now that you watched that tutorial, what have you realized? The convenience of taking the computer-delivered test, right? Instead of you being so rattled with writing your answers on a scratch paper and then iisipin mo pa yung pag-transfer nun sa actual test paper, it's much easier to use the computer-based test, right? So all you have to do is drag, drop, click the correct items. But of course, you have to analyze the questions first, right? Don't just drag, drop anything. And usually there is a given instruction. So read it first. It's also part of the audio, but it's also written here. And the thing is, you can adjust the volume of your audio file. Okay? All right. Okay, so it says here, the map has 5 gaps. Number 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, that's 5. So all you have to do is select the correct answer from the list of rooms and drag it towards the number. Okay? It's that simple. So that's why you have to be very careful because once nag-start na yung audio file sa number 16, sunod-sunod naman na yan. Alright? Now, there is another question type, which is asking you to complete the notes. Write one word only in each gap. Naka-emphasize, naka-bold letters, naka-caps lock pa. One word only. So, bakit ka maglalagay ng 2 words? Right? Wala ding nakalagay ng number, word lang daw yung sagot. So, definitely yan. Now, if there's already a unit, like the dollar sign, peso sign, euro sign, you don't need to write it anymore. You just have to write the number if that's what's asked, okay? But if it's not part of the questionnaire, that's when you add the unit, all right? Okay. This is really easy. You can automatically understand that part. Now, in the end of the video, there's an instruction that says, before you move on to the next part, you have 2 minutes to review all your answers. Okay? Umalis na ba si Sir Kevin? Okay. So yeah, you have to make sure that you are able to consume the 2 minutes to check everything. So sa pen and paper based test, you have 10 minutes checked. That's because you also have that time to transfer your answers to the actual answer sheet. Pero since computer-based test though, you're only given 2 minutes to recheck everything. Kung meron kang siguro na mali ka lang ng drag or probably na-miss mo yung ibang numbers, then that's high time for you to recheck everything and make sure that everything is in place. Okay? Easy, right? That's why listening is the easiest written component in the IELTS. All right, let's go back to the Okay, now let's talk about the band scores. If you get a perfect score, the highest possible score that you could get is a 9 in all subtests: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. That's why this review center is called Niner, because we want most of our students, all of our students, to aim for a 9. But that doesn't happen overnight. Of course, you need time. Now, if you make 2 to 1 mistake, automatically you get an 8.5. And if you make 3 to 4 mistakes, you get a band 8. 5 to 7 mistakes, band 7.5. 30 to 32, a score of 30 to 32, you will get a band 7. And definitely, if you get 27 to 29 points correctly, you get a 6.5. Okay? All right, so these are some, we're going to talk about the listening exam stages. All right, so number 1, let's talk about before listening. Earlier, I already mentioned that you have the chance to quickly scan the questionnaire. Okay, the audio file will give you instructions. You are given time to look at the questions 5 to 7 or 5 to 10. So you have to grab that opportunity. And during that given period, pero hindi naman siya ganun katagal, siguro less than a minute, probably. So what you do is encircle and take down notes of keywords. You are provided with a scratch paper and a pencil. So if you want to write down keywords, you can do so. But if I don't know, okay, bye. Finally. So I don't know though if that's gonna be easy for you because it might be an additional task. All right? Kasi yung iba, hirap pag multitasking. So you're taking down notes while listening to the audio, while reading what's in the questionnaire. So that's a handful of things, right? So the next step is during the listening exam. During the listening exam, you have to have laser focus. All right? A few seconds of losing focus can already take a toll on you. It means it can actually result to missing 1 to 2 numbers. All right? So, sa isang oras na yon, kailangan nakafocus ka lang sa audio file. The next stage is after listening. This is the last stage. Of course, you should review all your answers. On the recording, you'll hear, you are now given half a minute to check your answers. Half a minute. All right? The script will be heard after each section before moving on to the next. So when you're done with part 1, you will hear that audio sentence which says that you have half a minute, which is 30 seconds to check your answers. Bukod pa yun sa 2 minutes na pagtapos na yung lahat ng parts. Kasi sa dulo, meron ka pang 2 minutes to check everything again. Okay. Now let's talk about the exam content. So on part 1 and 2, expect that the content is going to be quite easy, right? Because the dialogues that you will be listening to is about general scenarios, everyday scenarios, such as on part 1, there could be dialogues about transactions, like a hotel booking, resort booking, or payments, availing services, those kinds of audio files, all right? And we have topics about shopping, holiday reservations, accommodations, and interviews. So most probably, you have experience doing that, right? Sino dito hindi pa naka-experience mag-book ng sariling accommodation? So most of the time kasi yung mga babae or yung mga wives or girlfriends ang nag-book ng mga accommodation. But try nyo din para medyo may idea kayo how the transaction goes. But then it's okay because you will have that in your listening test. Okay? But I feel like it's easier to understand the audio transactions when you've experienced doing a transaction yourself. Because you're familiar how to inquire, what are the questions that you should be asking when you're booking an accommodation, an Airbnb, like how much should I deposit? What are the dates that the place is available or not? Is it booked? Is it free? Or does it have the facilities or amenities that I'm looking for in a resort or a hotel? Right? Yung mga ganun, kailangan medyo familiar na kayo. And I think everyone here is an adult, so most probably you can easily do that. Kasi ngayon, nasa Facebook na lang yung mga resorts, right? You just be aware of the fake accounts. Kasi napakadaming scammer nowadays. before you pay your deposit, I suggest interrogate mo ng malala yung page. If something looks fishy, you have to keep interrogating kasi ang dami talagang scammer. They would ask you to deposit the full amount of the accommodation. Yun yung sign na scammer. And then another sign is, makikita mo yung Facebook page nila, sobrang daming likes and followers, but it doesn't mean na hindi yun fake account. Makikita mo, they posted all their advertisements in one day. And you will see the section, the comment section, it's empty. Because everybody's commenting, it's a scam. Fake accounts. Syempre, dinidelete nila yun, right? But then they will ask you to pay for the full payment. But in real life, yung mga totoong accounts, they don't ask you to pay for the full payment. They only ask you to pay 50%. And of course, you have to check the professionalism of how the person handles the conversation, right? You have to know how professional. Kasi kapag may mga grammar and spelling lapses yung kausap mo, automatically you know that person is not professional, right? So that's already a sign that it's a scam. I'm good with that. Kasi marami na ako na-experience sa scammers, but I didn't fall for the scam. All right, so on section 2 or part 2, there's a monologue, one person. Ang kaibahan ng dialogue and monologue, when we say dialogue, there are two people talking. They're exchanging conversations. On part 2, it's a monologue, meaning there's one person talking, all right? It's most probably an informational talk. Again, the topics could be about transactions, shopping, holiday reservations, accommodations, or interviews. Now, syempre, papahirap na ng papahirap. Sa part 3 and 4, you have to expect more difficult content. So on part 3 and 4, topics are going to be school or training related. So academic context. All right. Part 3 is a dialogue and part 4 is a monologue. And most probably the topics is about tutorials, making an assignment, research, lecture, or seminars. Okay? So nakikita niyo yung difference ng section 1, 2, 3, and 4? So obviously, madali muna and then papahirap ng papahirap. But then again, everything should be done in 1 hour. Now, this is the exciting part of today's lecture. Accent. We're going to talk about accent. All right, the accent is how people from a certain place talk. All right? So we have what you call Filipino English accent, Indian English accent. That's a very distinct kind of accent. So once may nakausap lang ako ng may Indian English accent, probably after a few hours, I would talk like them. But just for the sake of fun. I don't want to adapt it. Definitely. I only adapt yung... I have nothing against Indian English accent and Singaporean accent, but you don't want to adapt those accents because they stick hard, okay? So, sobrang dumidikit sila sa sistema mo. Especially if you've been to Singapore or you live there for several years, ang hirap tanggalin sa sistema once you na-acquire nyo na yung English accent ng mga Singaporean. Are you okay, love? Diba? So, now let's listen to an audio recording. These are 3 different audio recordings, but same content. Why? Because the following content that you're about to read contains all the vowel sounds and phonetics that are most probably used in the English language. And para makita nyo na rin yung difference ng American, British, and Australian accent. Okay, wait.
Please call Stella, ask her to bring these things with her from the store. 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She will scoop these things up into 3 red bags, and we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
All right, let's play it one more time. This is the American accent.
Please call Stella, ask her to bring these things with her from the store. 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She will scoop these things up into 3 red bags, and we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
All right, what have we noticed about the American accent? Have you noticed anything? Okay ba yung pagkaka-record ko ng audio? Kung hindi okay yun. Okay, I'm just kidding. So yes, we've noticed how clear and easy it is to follow, right? And kung mapapansin niyo, very chill lang siya magsalita. Hindi masyadong nahihirapan mag-enunciate. Very effortless. So that's how a native speaker talks. Very effortless, natural, just like me. Just like me. Okay, I'm just kidding, guys. All right, now we're gonna be listening to the British accent.
Please call Stella. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store. 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She can scoop these things into 3 red bags, and we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
All right, let's play one last time.
Please call Stella. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store. 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She can scoop these things into 3 red bags, and we will go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
Ito yung accent na nakaka-in-love. Diba? I've heard somebody say that whenever they hear a man speaking with a British accent, automatically it's a turn on. What do you girls think? Right? Isn't it? O ako lang. Grabe, napaka-supportive ng mga babae dito. I'm just kidding. But ang sarap pakinggan, right? Again, the movie suggestions or series suggestions for you to be able to immerse yourselves in the British accent. We have the Lord of the Rings series, Harry Potter, the Bridgerton. So it's not a sequel of Bridgerton, but it's also part of the story. It's Queen Charlotte. Ang ganda nun. Napanood niyo na yan? Sige, maghahanap pa ako ng mga British. Or baka pwede kayong mag-subscribe sa British YouTubers, vloggers, whatsoever. Or kasi ngayon hindi na kayo mahilig manood ng mga prolonged videos, like 20-minute videos. I know your attention span is not that long anymore and you prefer watching reels. Am I right? Relate? Totoo yun, because that's the same with me. I don't like watching vlogs anymore. But another thing that you could do is subscribe or follow podcast channels. So habang may ginagawa ka sa bahay, you can multitask, right? Habang naglilinis ka ng house or probably while you're cooking. Ako kasi ganun ginagawa ko eh. Whenever I'm busy doing something at home, I play a podcast episode and I listen to it. Kasi sometimes it's good to also use your imagination. Kasi when you're just listening and not looking at any visuals, it paints pictures in your mind. And your imagination works. And I think that part of your brain should be exercised, especially if you want to sharpen your listening skills. Okay? So, mahilig ako makinig ng podcasts. Hopefully, you create a habit of doing that for the sake of IELTS. Kung ayaw mong gawin after IELTS, then don't do it. But if you're going to a road trip, I mean, let's say, uwi ka ng probinsya, it's gonna take you a couple of hours. Lalo na because of the heavy traffic nowadays. Kahit papunta ka lang ng Gapan, it's gonna take you an hour or something. So, use that specific time while driving. Turn on your Bluetooth device, connect your gadgets, and listen to any podcast. Don't watch, listen, okay? Para kasi madidistract ka while driving. Or probably if you're in the bus, you know. Yeah. So let's listen to, finally, the Aussie accent. Medyo nakakadugo to ng brain. But it's part of the process.
Please call Stella. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store. 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She can scoop these things into 3 red bags. We'll go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
Okay. Before we talk about Australian accent, I would like to quickly take note. I want you guys to take note of the fact that in the British accent, hindi nila na-enunciate masyado yung R consonant sound. Have you noticed that? Very subtle. Or probably none, right? So instead of saying water, they say water. Okay? Get me a bottle of water. And then sa Australian accent, ano ang observations natin? Okay, let me play it one more time pala, para equal.
Please call Stella. Ask her to bring these things with her from the store. 6 spoons of fresh snow peas, 5 thick slabs of blue cheese, and maybe a snack for her brother Bob. We also need a small plastic snake and a big toy frog for the kids. She can scoop these things into 3 red bags. We'll go meet her Wednesday at the train station.
Okay. We have all noticed one thing about the Australian accent. It's difficult to listen to. It's difficult to understand. And it's difficult because certain vowel sounds are stressed more than the actual or the native speaker-like accent, which is the American accent. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung short I nila, nagiging long E vowel sound. Do you remember our pronunciation lecture a few weeks ago? What I said, may pagkakaiba ang short I vowel sound sa long E vowel sound, right? So you don't say, when you're pertaining to the beach, it's very important for you to use the long E vowel sound, or else magiging bitch yung pagkakasabi mo, and you don't want that. You can't afford to make that mistake, right? So be clear. We went to the beach. So if it's a long E vowel sound, it's putting a smile on your faces. That's why when there's a cameraman or a photographer, they say cheese. It means you smile because that's the right way. That's the proper way of enunciating the long E vowel sound. However, medyo OA itong Australian accent. Do we agree? That's why kailangan mo maging OA sa prayers. Ipag-pray natin na hindi sa'yo matatubad ang Australian accent because definitely you're gonna have a hard time. But let's prevent the struggle from happening. How? Of course, kung magte-train ka ng listening skill mo sa American accent, sa British accent, i-include mo na rin yung Aussie accent. Because what are the odds of you not getting the audio file with an Aussie accent, right? Kaso nga lang, ikaw na talaga ang pinakaswerteng tao sa mundo if that happens. Ibig sabihin, your prayers didn't work. Or baka hindi ka malakas kay Lord. Feel ko si Jesus malakas siya kay Lord. Okay, so, let's move on. Medyo may pagkabias at name niya yun eh. What can we do? Medyo lugi tayo sa part. Alright, so there are different types of questions. So we have multiple choice. Do I still need to explain this? I mean, elementary pa lang, high school, when you were studying, you already know what multiple choice is. I don't need to elaborate this anymore. But you have to make sure that singular answers and multiple answers depending on the instruction given. All right? So we have here an example. Wait lang. I'm gonna get the audio file again. Gonna play it. Section. Okay. Let's answer it together, okay?
Section 3. Listen to a female student, Amina, talking to her tutor, Dr. Bryson, about her project on local history. Amina has completed a first draft of the project. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Okay, yun yung audio file na magsasabi, you have time to look at the questions. Read them, look for keywords, encircle. Probably you can't encircle, it's not a pen and paper based exam. But you can, I think there's an option that you can highlight or write it down on your notes, probably.
Now listen carefully to the first part of the discussion and answer questions 21 to 26.
Well, Amina, thanks for letting me have your draft in such good time.
Oh, that's all right. I was just very anxious to hear what you think of it. You can see that I decided to change the topic. I had been interested in looking at Bearings Factory.
Oh, I think the hospital was a much better choice. In fact, well, I have to say that I thought it was good.
Oh.
There's still lots of work to be done.
Oh, yes, of course.
But there's plenty of good ideas. It opens.
On 21, your answer is? What's the answer? Zoom participants, are you here? Does everyone have the right answer? Sige, pakinggan natin ulit. Kasi di ako sure. Ako pa rin hindi sure. I'm just kidding. Let's find the right answer.
What you think of it. You can see that I decided to change the topic. I had been interested in looking at Bearings Factory.
Oh, I think the hospital was a much better choice. In fact,
hospital. Mali kayo doon. Okay, sabi niya, may kinonsider siya. See how tricky it is? She considered something, but then they reconfirm ni Guy, it's a better choice. Hospital, right? Okay.
well, I have to say that I thought it was good.
Oh.
There's still lots of work to be done.
Oh, yes, of course.
But there's plenty of good ideas. It opens well, and the first chapter is fine, but the middle section really stood out for me. Most interesting.
It's amazing, because I really didn't find it.
Okay. On number 22, what's the correct answer? Dr. Bryson particularly liked A, the introduction, B, the first chapter, or C, the middle section? Thank God, pare-parehas kayo ng sagot. Okay, again, nakakalito, no? Kasi sabi niya, I liked the first chapter, but I particularly loved, or ano ba yung sabi niya? Let's listen to it again.
Plenty of good ideas. It opens well, and the first chapter is fine, but the middle section really stood out for me.
The middle section really stood out for me. When we say stood out, that's an expression which means yun yung pinaka-umangat. Yun yung pinaka-highlight for me. Sabi ni Dr. Bryson, right? Okay, let's move on.
That's amazing, because I really didn't find it a bit easy to write.
How long did you work on the whole thing?
Well, I spent about 2 or 3 weeks reading and doing general research, and then I dashed the writing off very quickly. So about 4 weeks in all.
Well, that's about par for the course. You got a while yet to make the changes.
Oh, right.
Number 23, Amina was surprised because she A, thought it was bad, B, wrote it quickly, C, found it difficult to do. Uy, ang gagaling niyo naman. Tingnan natin yung mga nasa Zoom. Have you been getting the correct answers? So, very good si RG. Tama lahat. Ay, hindi. Mali pala yung pangatlo mo. So, RG, the answer is 21, letter B, 22, letter C, and 23, letter B. Oras na ba? Let me just switch to the next slide. Ay, wala na pala. Oh, yun lang yun. No replay. The audio file will be played once only. No pausing. Nothing is allowed. Okay? All you have to do is bear with it. Okay? Tuloy-tuloy lang siya. Another type of question is the gap fill. So, this is very crucial kasi, again, maraming nakakalitong part. Yung tipong may instruction na sasabihin sa'yo, you should provide only one word. You should provide not more than 2 words and a number. Mga ganyan. So, definitely you have to read the instruction well. Okay? So, any questions about the listening trial test? Okay, so the gap fill has 6 different types. So we have classification, short answer questions and lists, note, table, flowchart completion, sentence completion, summary completion, labeling a diagram or a map or a plan. So meron naman silang keywords that you can choose from, so don't worry. Okay, now we have another type. All right, so definitely merong map. This is to test how well you are with instructions, with directions, and of course, prepositions, okay? So you have to know the basic prepositions, such as adjacent. What does adjacent mean? It means near something, all right? The building is adjacent to the bakery. Ibig sabihin, malapit lang. So if you want to find the building that I'm pertaining to, you have to find the bakery because it's adjacent to it. All right. Neighboring, adjoining, similar words, same meaning. Across, transversely from corner to corner, magkatapat. Okay? Our building is located across from pure gold. Hindi naman tapat na dapat, pero yun lang kasi naisip ko. Hindi ko alam yung katapat eh. But yeah, the RGM or the merge building is located across from or transversely. Beside, next to, alongside, you have to be knowledgeable how to use and understand these. In between, in the middle of, or amid, it also means through. Okay? Kasi syempre, when you go through something, nandun ka na, in the midst. Right? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna show you another audio recording. I'm gonna let you listen to it. At try nating sagutan. So we have number 15, 16, and 17. This is a sample of a map.
Well, here we are at the top of the tower, and we're going to look at the view from each direction. Out to the east, the large buildings about 1 kilometre away are on the Olympic side. There's an indoor arena for gymnastics, a stadium for track and field, and a swimming pool for races and synchronised swimming, and also diving. If you look carefully down there, you can see the train lines. The Olympic site has its own station to encourage the use of public transport. There is also a car park, but it only holds a limited number of cars. The formal park has some specially created water features. If you look out here to the south, you can see a circular ornamental pond. And around to the west, you can relax and sit on a bench to smell the flowers in the rose garden. And finally, up to the north, if you look in front of you now, there's a lake with a small island in the centre. You can hire rowing boats at the boat shed, which you can't see from here. But if you look through the trees, you can see the cafe, which has lovely views across the water. Okay, let's climb down now. We will go now and have a look at the nature reserve section of the park, which has opened up natural wetland to the public.
Okay, let's find out what the answers are. Number 15. Did you take note of the answers? Very good. Okay. I think you guys need to listen to it again.
Well, here we are at the top of the tower, and we're going to look at the view from each direction. Out to the east, the large buildings about 1 kilometre away are on the Olympic side. There's an indoor arena for gymnastics, a stadium for track and field, and a swimming pool for races and synchronised swimming, and also diving. If you look carefully down there, you can see the train lines. The Olympic site has its own station to encourage the use of public transport. There is also a car park, but it only holds a limited number of cars. The formal park has some specially created water features. If you look out here to the south, you can see a circular ornamental pond. And around to the west, you can relax and sit on a bench to smell the flowers.
Okay, let me pause it for a while. So, sabi niya, alongside these is the car park. So, number 15, the answer is car park. Okay? And she did mention that there is a rose garden near the benches. So, number 16, the answer is rose garden. All right? All right, number 15, car park. Thank you, Mello and Victor. You gave the right answers. So, are your answers also rose garden on number 16? Or should I play the audio again? I'll just continue the audio.
In the rose garden. And finally, up to the north, if you look in front of you now, there's a lake with a small island in the centre. You can hire rowing boats at the boat shed, which you can't see from here. But if you look through the trees, you can see the cafe, which has lovely views across the water. Okay, let's climb down now.
Cafe.
We will go now and have a look at the nature reserve section of the park, which has opened up natural wetland to the public.
Alright, so napansin ko, nakuha niyo yung tamang sagot sa 15 and 17, which is 15, car park, 17, cafe. Pero hindi niyo nasagutan yung 16. Ang bilis kasi ng part ngayon and medyo yung accent niya talaga, right? But the answer to number 16 is rose garden. Okay? 15, car park. 16, rose garden. And 17, cafe. So yon, you have to be mentally prepared para, kasi again, it will only be played once. Once you miss it, I'm sorry, you lose a point. All right, write no more than 2 words. So, car park, rose garden, tama lang naman. Kasi hindi naman sila more than 2 words. Okay, so there's another video that we're going to be playing. And then after I play this video, I will actually give you a 5-minute break. So, oh, okay. Actually, guys, I don't need to play this video pala. But I'm gonna send you this link because this link is gonna be very helpful, okay, for you guys to know more about labeling the maps in your listening test. Okay, so for now, I'm officially gonna give you a 5-minute break. Please be back after 5 to 10 minutes and we will continue. That's the link. Please access it. Isasend ko din mamaya sa Discord para sa mga nandito. Pero para sa mga nasa Zoom, you already have the link. Check it out right now while we're on the break. Okay, you can get some water break or coffee break or probably toilet break. Okay. Okay, may nangungulit sa akin from Australia right now. She's my cousin, asking me kung meron daw bang shortcut for IELTS. Paulit-ulit na lang ako, wala nga. If you pay how much you want to pay, you can't do anything to, you know, ayan na nga, Zoom is not responding.
Pwede
Why?
kang bayaran.
Most commonly asked question. And yeah, the answer is gonna be no, all throughout. Okay, so let's continue. Pero kung pwede yun, edi sana mayaman na ako ngayon. Alright. Okay. So, let's have the rules in spelling. Spelling is very important. Okay? Maaring tama yung sagot mo, pero namali ka ng spelling, then that is a liability on your listening test. Alright? So, both British and American, the word practice, British, it's spelled with an S, and American, it's spelled with a C. Practice. Ito yung nakasanayan na natin, right? The American style. So it's also very important for you to know, just be consistent if you're going to use the American or the British. Now, depende kasi yon sa format ng exam. Alright? Kung naka-British mode siya, then you have to use the British spelling. So, all caps are accepted. Okay lang naman yon. Hindi naman to writing test. Sa writing test, hindi pwedeng all caps, okay? Dito sa listening, pwede. Tenses. You have to be careful with your verb tenses. It's very important for you to use the correct verb tenses. Of course, you also have to remember subject-verb agreement, singular, plural. All right, now we will talk about one of the most confusing parts of your listening test. Format and writing your answer if your answer is a date. Okay. As you can see, we have several examples listed here. 23rd of November, November 23, or you can put, ito yung pinaka-basic. November 23, comma, 2012. All right. But you have to take note, if there is an example, you have to follow what's in the example. Okay? I'm going to show you. I'm actually about to draw something. I don't know how to. Okay. Yung annotation. Ayan, gumagana siya finally. Yan. Alright, so I'm going to draw a table. So this is a table. And hindi nyo nakikita? Why? That's problematic now. Okay, let's what I'm gonna do is restart the display. Okay. Probably I just need to click duplicate again. Ayan, kita nyo na? It's so small though. But I think we can work with it. Okay? There. Telegram. Okay. Bear with my drawing, pero kaya yan. Okay, so let's say this is a table. Ganyan yung posibleng lumabas sa table samples. Okay, so we have here the date. And we have here the venue. Okay. And then we have a format. This is just an example that there's a format that you should follow. 15 September. Ganyan yung pagkakalagay ng example sa table. Yung format ng date is 15 September. Ganyan. And then we have number 14. You have to put an answer there. And then we have here number 15. So you have to provide an answer for number 14 and number 15. So, ganyan yung makikita nyo sa table. And then we have is it B? Wait. Okay, the given example is British Shopping Center. So as you can see, the spelling of center is in British mode. Okay? So ngayon, how are you gonna spell it if sa audio file sinabi niyang handyman center? Isi-spell mo ba siya in American, which is C-E-N-T-E-R, or center as in C-E-N-T-R-E? So you have to follow what's given in the example, all right? So, iibahin ko yung kulay para hindi kayo malito. So, let's say in the audio file, sabi niya yung sagot sa 14, hindi niya sinabing yung sagot yung sa 14, but let's assume that the answer to number 14 is handyman center. Since nakita mo na naka-British mode yung spelling, yun din yung ilalagay mong spelling. Diba? That's what I was mentioning earlier. So, there. Your answer to number 14 is handyman center with the British spelling of the word center. Is that clear? Ang effort ko, ang hirap mag-type. Wait lang guys. Okay, so now, when is the date? Let's say the given date is 24th of October. Am I gonna answer October 24? Am I gonna answer 24th October? No, right? Since meron nang nakalagay na format here, ito yung binigay na format. I-honor nyo yung nakikita niyong format, okay? So, the answer is gonna be 24 without TH and abbreviate. Hindi naman abbreviation, shortcut ng October, right? So, ganyan yung magiging format mo. Is it clear? Good. Kasi, ang effort maggawa ng table. Permission to leave? Okay, yeah, sure. No problem. We're gonna post a replay video not later than 2 p.m. today. Okay. Now let's move on. Okay, now we're gonna talk about format and writing your answer if it's an address or a number, student number, policy number, phone number. You have to remember that don't put spaces or dashes. It's in real life, you put dashes and spaces, right? Yung bank account number niyo, may space yun, di ba? After 3 digits, may space. Or kung ano man yung format ng bank account number niyo. But the thing is, when you're typing na here sa listening answers nyo, hindi nyo na kailangan lagyan ng dashes and ng spaces. Alright? So, yung phone number, no need for you to add a space anymore. Just follow what's given in the example. Okay. So, Okay, sige. I'm gonna give you some examples. So, number 1, sabihin natin phone number ang pinatype. So, which one is the correct format? Number 1, number 2, or number 3? So, the correct in IELTS is this one. But in real life, accepted naman lahat yan, right? Okay. Or, again, if there's a given example, kung may nakita ko yung given example na may dashes and spaces, then just make sure na naka-align doon or sinusunod nyo na lang din. Okay? Units of measurement. Of course, pag meron nang nakalagay na, di ba merong blank space? So if may nakalagay ng unit before the number or after the number, no need to add a unit. And it depends on the instruction. Kasi baka yung instruction, it says, not more than 2 words or not more than 1 word. So, dadagdag mo yung unit, then nagkamali ka na, right? So, of course, most of the time, yung dollar sign, euro sign, yung currency ng pera, yung currency, it's already provided. But now, if you are given like an instruction which says not more than 2 words or not more than 3 words, then most probably, at wala naman dun sa test questionnaire kung wala naman dun yung currency nung halaga, nung amount, so then that's when you add it. Okay? So it's either you add the symbol or you add the word. Okay, let's have a quick test. All right. Bakit nakapost sa Zoom? Okay, there. Okay. Hindi ko pala siya magagalaw kasi may annotation. Isang recording na lang. Actually, this is the last part of the lecture today. Medyo mabilis lang, guys. 11 pa lang tapos na tayo. But then we will proceed with the one-on-one coaching. So we have, how many students do we have for the coaching? Dan, JV, and Rana. 3? Okay. That's good. Okay. I'll reshare. Just give me a second. Let me just find the audio file. This one. I think it's this one. Okay.
Now turn to section 3. Section 3. You will hear 2 friends discussing a course they have just done. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 27.
Wait. Wait lang. Hindi makasabay yung mga nasa Zoom. I forgot to reshare it. So there. Let's play the audio file again.
Now turn to section 3. Section 3. You will hear 2 friends discussing a course they have just done. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 27.
But it's actually just 21 and 22.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 27. Oh, Ben, I just remembered I never filled in that form for Nick. Did you do it?
The course feedback form.
Yes. If you want, we can do it together. I've got mine here.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have a look then. What do we have to do?
Let's fill in the top first. Let's see. Course code.
It's communication in business.
Okay. Communication in business. I do know that, but what's the code?
CB16 something. CB162, isn't it?
That's it. Okay. And dates. When did we start? I remember my birthday's on May 4th, and it was the day after. It must have been May 5th.
Gosh, doesn't seem that long ago, does it?
No. And we finish at the end of this week on Friday, so that's July 15th.
16th.
Oh.
Monday was the 12th.
Yeah.
Right, that was the easy bit. Now let's have a look. Please give your comments on the following aspects of the course. Okay, what's the first one? Oh, course organisation. What do you
Okay.
think?
There you go. Did you catch the answer to number 21 and 22? They're dates. So, yun yung sinasabi kong naglalagay sila ng panglito. Kasi sabi niya, oh, is it the May 15th? No, it's the May 16th. Gumanon siya. So, parang una-assume mo, ay, May 15 yung sagot. And then, you have to listen carefully. Kasi finally, the answer is May 16. Right? Pero first, sa 21, July, sorry. Sa 21, ang sagot, May 5. From May 5, binanggit niya yun. And then, yung panglito, yung sa number 22. So, the correct answer is July 16. There you go. So, if I were you, start tonight. Start your mock tests. I'm assuming that most of you have computers, laptops, desktops at home. But if you don't, you can borrow or probably come here if you have the luxury of time. So you can come here and experience the mock test every Tuesday and Thursday. And you have to immerse yourself in the listening test. So if I were you, one test at a time. Today, focus on listening. Tomorrow, focus on reading. But if you feel like you need to focus a little more on listening, pwede ka namang 1 week listening, 1 week reading. Ako kasi that's how I focus and that's how I really get the technique kapag paulit-ulit kong ginagawa. So, be honest with yourself. This is just a piece of advice that I want to share to everyone. One way for us to track how well you're going, how well you're doing on your mock test is you guys have to be 100% transparent with us with the scores that you're getting. Because we've experienced some students who've been, kaya lang pala nakaka 7 or 8, nire-refresh yung mock test. And then inuulit-ulit. That's not how you do it, okay? One take, one audio file, one play, and then get the results. Now, if you did not get your desired result, take it again. Not the same test, ibang test naman. But kasi cheating yun right? So, sino ba yung niloloko natin? Sarili lang natin, right? And then, you don't get to improve if that's your style, right? Okay, I'll be saying goodbye to the Zoom participants. Thank you all for joining and participating so well in today's discussion. I'm going to be seeing more of you guys probably tomorrow or next week. And I'm going to be ending the live. See you.